Hi friends, in this video I am sharing the 6 cards that we made at last night's all occasion card class. This is a monthly class I have on the 3rd Wednesday of each month, and it's a lot of fun. And we normally make 2 each of 3 designs. Last night we made 6 different cards. So when everyone shows up, I've got all their card supplies pre-cut. All they have to do is stamp and adhere them. So it's really easy. We have a lot of fun. I'll just show you what I do. I take everything in a tub. So everything that the ladies need to make for their cards is in this tub, and then all of their card supplies are pre-cut, so they just take it out, and when they finish their card I bring them the other tub so they don't have to get up and move around. They can stay nice and comfortable, and we really have a great time. So the cards that we made are all different. And there's simple cards like this one's very simple, but sometimes you need a simple card, and everyone loved the cards. So I'm going to show you quickly how the cards come together, and hopefully you can get some ideas for your own personal stamping or your own classes. So 9 lives. This is a very cute stamp set. It's in the Current Occasions catalog. It coordinates with the cat punch. And the other punch we're using is our triple banner punch. So the designer series paper for the first card that we used is the In Color 6x6 designer series paper pack. It's on page 191 of our current catalog, and everyone had a choice of color. I'm just using this one. So that just goes on front. And sliding this through. A list of all the supplies will be on my blog. So this isn't my original design. It's a spin-off of a design I'd seen years ago, and you can use any punch for this. I normally use our butterfly punch, but I wanted to have a play with this set and see how it worked with this card, and it worked really well. So just sliding this into the cat punch. Save this for another card. Put the cat aside. Okay, so I'm just taking my sentiment. The sentiment reads, "A friend like you comes around once in 9 lives." Picking a couple of dimensionals. So you can see this is a very cinchy card, but there's nothing wrong with that. Cinchy cards are really good cards. And remember, any punch works. I really like using the butterfly punch, but this works good too. I'm gonna put the bow right on the cat. And I'm just pushing up on the ends just to ruffle them a bit. So you see, it doesn't get any easier than that. I'll show you the original. This is the first one I made, and I used True Love Has 4 Paws and put the bow down below. So really easy, fun card. Okay, moving on to the second card. I've got a piece of Balmy Blue cardstock, piece of Whisper White, and a smaller piece of Whisper White. So for this one, I actually don't have the Balmy Blue ink pad, the new ink pad, so I'm using my marker. So I'm just taking my marker and I'm going over the top the whole clear block. So I've just been gradually purchasing the new ink pads for the colors that I don't already have. Otherwise my old style ink pads work fine. So that's why I just have the marker. I did get all the new colors in the marker so that I've got all the colors. So now I know you can't really see the marker on here, but I'm just going to lightly mist with water and push it down. So I get that cool background. So now I'm inking up You Are the Cat's Meow and stamp it up here in the corner. I'm just going to set that aside. Okay, so I'm just stamping this cat. I'm doing the outline of the cat first. Now I'm taking my Sahara sand. This is such a cool stamp set, and I love the 2-step. This is actually a 3-step, but you don't have to use all the patterns if you don't want. So I'm just lining them up. Now I'm taking my crumb cake and I'm using the next pattern, which is kind of the tiger stripes. Now this looks adorable just the way it is, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on top as well. So it just fills them in a little bit more, and I got the 2 shades of colors and patterns, and I really like how that looks. There's my cat. I'm going to go ahead and put this onto my card base. Now I'm taking the little ball of yarn. I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm taking my marker and I'm just going to color that in. Take a couple dimensionals. Whoops, I got 3. Don't really need 3 for the cat, but an extra one came off with my fingers, so 3 it is. Okay, so now I'm just going to position my cat right on top like that. Now I'm taking my hearts and I'm going to add hearts right there. And we have a bold heart stamp that I could stamp on top, but I have my marker out, so I'm just going to go ahead and color those hearts in with my marker. There it is. Isn't that sweet? My cat's a little crooked. It's morning. My coffee hasn't kicked in, but I think it's fine. I'll show you the original I made. Here's the first one that I made. You can see I used a different sentiment and I just set things up a little bit different for the layout. So really, really sweet card, very, very simple, and I'm only using a couple of ink pads. Isn't that sweet? So those were the 2 designs for the 9 Lives set that we made last night. So we will move on to the next card. Okay, our next card uses the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper. So this is Lemon Lime Twist. Now this card base is our Naturals Vanilla that we used to sell. It's been on our clearance rack though, and I've always loved it, so I grabbed a pack. And then I have a piece of Whisper White. This is cut out with the 2-inch circle punch, and Lemon Lime Twist. This has been cut with the 2 1/4-inch circle punch. A strip of Lemon Lime Twist is measures 4 by 1, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base. Okay, so we are using Petal Palette for these next 2 cards, and I'm going to start off by stamping my bird. We quite often have relatively new stampers, if not brand new stampers, at my monthly card class. So I like to offer a variety of stamp sets and products that they can try out, and I like to keep the cards so that they're not overwhelming, so they can go home and make them again themselves if they choose to. Okay, I will mention this is our clear stamps, and so I do put a little bit of lip balm on my block so that the stamp doesn't come off. Okay, I'm going to stamp the bird. Now I'm using this image right here. I'm going to pull in a bit of scrap paper because I'm going to stamp off this circle. So I'm just tilting that a little bit. And I'll show you in a second how I'm going to bring this all together. And then a third one there. Okay, so now I have my watercolor pencils. None of the ladies had used these before last night, so it was fun to see them enjoy using these and how easy they are. So I'm just taking my yellow and I'm going over the bird. I've got my lemon lime twist now. Okay, this needs to be sharpened. The lemon lime twist comes in a kit. It doesn't come with the watercolors. There's a stamp kit that you can get it in. So I'm using that and I'm just coloring in the leaves. Taking my yellow again, coloring in the flowers. And need some more green. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of the pink, doing his belly. And taking some of the gray. Okay, so now I'm just taking my blender pen, making sure it's clean, and I'm just going to blend all of that color together. Bring this in closer so you can see what I'm doing. I love using the watercolor pencils. They are so quick, so easy. And they just move that color around so nice. Okay, so I've got the different colors in there. Now I'm taking my black marker and I'm going to draw so that it looks like he's sitting on a branch. And I'm just going to kind of combine them here. I think I'm going to outline these so they all tie in together. Okay, so now it looks like he's on a little branch. And pop him onto my circle. Grab a couple dimensionals. Okay, so now I'm taking my thank you stamp. And I'm going to stamp it right over to the left. Just like that. Stick that onto my card. And then I'm taking some of my ribbon. This is the Tulle polka dot ribbon. And that just goes on right like that. So there's the first card. Okay, time for the second card. So everything in the tubs that are on the table with their supplies has, you know, for the two cards, we're using the same ink pads. Everything that you use on one card, you can use on the second card. So I'm just positioning this designer series paper right on here. Now we're using this image. Okay, last night a lot of ink got onto this stamp and it started getting sticky, so it wasn't staying on the block. So I'm using my Stays On cleaner and I'm actually just going to go right over that and remove the ink. Would have been easier if I kept this on the block here. And see how that ink is all coming off? And I never thought to take my Stays On cleaner with me. I will from now on. just because it does build up and you don't want it coming off your block because it's sticking to the paper if there's too much residue. Okay. Now the other trick when you're using your clear stamps, and again I mentioned this earlier, is I just take some lip balm. I'm starting with a clean block and I'm just doing a quick little zigzag. You don't need much. And then put it on my block, push down nice and firm, and now it's on there really good. It won't come off. Okay, so I'm actually using my Memento because that's what I have out, but you can use your StazOn with the red rubber. And let's see. Perfect. And you'll notice this is staying on the block, no issues. So if it's coming off your block, if it's sticking to your paper, it's because you need to clean this. So again, just taking my StazOn. You could use your, because this isn't StazOn ink, you could use any cleaner, but I have my StazOn out and there was StazOn ink on here from last night. So if you don't have the StazOn cleaner, I would get it. All right. So this is clean and ready to go for another card. Okay, so now we're taking the sentiment and I'm gonna stamp that right down here. Okay, so I'm taking my lemon lime twist next, taking this image, get that onto my block. And I'm gonna stamp all around the edge. And I'm just going in different directions. It's just a nice little way to fill in. Okay, so I have a piece of Stampin' Sponge. I just cut my sponges into little pieces. And then I'm just sponging around the edge. And this is always a simple technique, but it's always a wow. If you don't want to mat this on cardstock or you're limited on supplies, I always encourage everyone to get some stamp sponges. I've always loved sponging the edges. Just adds a nice finish. Okay. So I'm just going to squeeze this lid. Now I'm just taking my aqua painter and I'm just going to color in my leaves with the lemon lime twist. Now the girls had their choice of markers or the watercolor pencils. Whatever they wanted to use, they could. But I'm actually going to go first with a light wash of color and then I'm going to go back in with my marker. Okay. Now I'm taking my Daffodil Delight and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm just going to add some more ink just to get the two different shades going. Okay, so now I've got my lemon lime twist marker and I'm just going to add some more color. So there it is, all colored in. And again, you could use your watercolor pencils, you could use your everything I just showed, your markers, your aqua painter ink pads, whatever you have. So just two colors and it's so pretty. So this gets popped onto the card with dimensionals as well. Okay, so to finish this card, taking a little bit of our glue and I'm very lightly squeezing it all on the flower and I'm spreading it around very lightly, you don't need very much. Okay. You guys know how much I love my Dazzling Diamond glitter, and just watch how this pops. And then that glue will dry nice and clear. Here's the original one I did. This one's using the Lemon Lime Twist instead of the Daffodil Delight. Isn't that pretty? So here were the first cards we made with this set, and the second one. I also put some Dazzling Diamonds on this card too. I didn't do it on that one when I was showing you how it comes together. Forgot, but it does look pretty with the little Dazzling Diamonds on this one as well. Okay, so for the next two cards, I decided to use the Lift Me Up stamp set. We hadn't used this one in my all occasion card classes before, so I wanted to do something different. And we're also using Timeless Textures, another set the girls hadn't used before. Love this set. Gorgeous Grunge was one of my all-time favorite sets, so I'm really glad Stampin' Up! Has this one because I use this as much as I used Gorgeous Grunge. It's such a great set for backgrounds. Okay, so enough chat, let's get stamping. Okay. So for this card, we're using Rich Razzleberry card base and Whisper White cardstock, and my black Memento ink. Actually, I'm going to stamp my sentiment first. I'm going to do Hope Your Day is on Cloud 9, Happy Birthday. I'm going to stamp that right down here on the bottom. Then I'm going to ink up my hot air balloon. Now I'm taking my pool party. Get this out of the way. And I'm going to stamp 3 of the big clouds. I'm actually going to stamp this one off a bit, so right about there. And then 3 little clouds. Actually, I'm going to do more than 3 because I want it to look like we are up in the air. Do another one here. Okay, cinchy. And I'm taking my watercolor pencils again, and I am going to color these in. My clear Wink of Stella, which is going to add some shimmer, but it's also going to blend all those colors together. Whoops. Which is actually blending them right into each other, which I don't want. So I'm going to do each color separately. And it just really moves that color around. And I clean that off. So you could use your blender pen, you could use your aqua painter. I'm just using my clear Wink of Stella because I did want that color to shimmer. So it's very shimmery. Super pretty and so easy and fast to color with those watercolor pencils. Okay, so these 2 cards are the only ones that we used our Big Shot for. Okay, so I've got this on my magnetic platform with the plate. Taking the little die, I'm going to run it through and cut each of these hot air balloons out. So now I'm going to glue this onto my card base. So just taking some snail. If you watch my channel, you know I just put computer paper on the inside. I just put a little adhesive on the top. Okay. Now I am taking my glue again. Gonna add some more Dazzling Diamonds. You could use your fine tip glue pen for this as well. And right now I'm not even squeezing, I'm just moving that glue around on the cloud. Now our clouds are all nice and glittery. And then I'm going to take a Stampin' Dimensional and place each hot air balloon right back on top of where they were cut out. I'm just taking some of our sequins just to add a little extra shimmer. Now the first one I didn't pop out my balloons. I just stamped them, and it was a thought that I had while we were at class. I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we popped them out? And turned out really, really nice. So there we go. Card 5. Moving on to the last card. Okay, time for card number 6. So I'm taking my pool party, and these are the 2 stamps that we're using. These are from the Timeless Textures. Now this is not my original card design. It is a card that I have seen on the internet, and I loved it. So I wanted to just kind of tweak it and play with it here. So I'm not re-inking. I've stamped a couple different times. Now I'm taking my crumb cake, and this just adds a fun background texture. The sentiment I'm going to stamp is "You soar above the rest, congratulations." I'm going to stamp this down here. Oh, see how crooked that is? Okay, I'm not going to throw that out. I am going to take a piece of scrap paper. Now I save all these bits when I trim my cardstock, and I just keep them in the drawers. So I'm just going to stamp this, and I'm going to make a banner. This is actually crooked red on the block. That's why it's stamping crooked. Okay, I'm just flagging that end. So look, nobody will ever know that that mistake is under there, except for you. You and me, we're the only ones that know. So I'm going to take my crumb cake card base and stick this on. Take a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals and we'll put the banner on. Okay. Nobody will know that mistake is under there. You gotta love the banner trick. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Now I'm bringing in my 2 hot air balloons. I'm taking my Rich Razzleberry ink pad. Now I will say this, I noticed last night was a bit dry, so I took my re-inker and just re-inked this, and it's so much better. So if you don't already get the re-inkers when you get your ink pads, I encourage you to do so because it makes a big, big difference. And I'm just going to hold it down for a second, pushing down nice and firm. I'm not wiggling it too much. But see, it gives it a chance for that ink to absorb into the cardstock. Okay, next color is Bermuda Bay. Okay, there's my 2 hot air balloons. And now I have a piece of Whisper White, and taking my crumb cake, I'm going to stamp 2 of these. And we will just put these bits and pieces onto the card. And I'm going to tuck this one underneath that top balloon a little bit. And this one, I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. I'm not going to put dimensionals behind that. A little bit more Dazzling Diamonds. And then to finish this, I'm taking some of our pearls. And there it is. That is card number 6. So here was the first one I made, and you can see the difference since I re-inked that ink pad. It's like an entirely different color. But I did notice last night it was getting pretty faded, so it looks so much brighter and nicer now. But there you go, guys. Love that card. So there are the 6 cards that we made at last night's all occasion card class. I hope you enjoyed learning how we made them using 3 different stamp sets. So this was the Lift Me Up stamp set, the Petal Palette stamp set, and the 9 lives with the Cat Builder Punch. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, everyone, and I hope you have lots of inspiration. Have fun, happy stamping, and thanks for watching.